All right, gang, let's dive right into it. Welcome to Webinar Wednesday, tips to grow your online community. It's great to be with you guys here today. We have an awesome presentation lined up for you, and we'll dive right into it. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. I'm Jason there on the left, and we're lucky to be joined by Rick Martinez, one of the support specialists here at Brilliant Directories. Rick, thanks for taking the time to join us in the webinar today.
Happy to be here, Jason, and thank you for having me.
Awesome. Yeah, I know we got some great topics to cover today. And I always like to mention, if you're not already a member, please go ahead and join our Facebook group. You can go to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook. It's a great way to keep in touch in between webinars. There's some really amazing discussions in there. I myself am active in there and learn a lot because people are asking how-to questions, and then everyone jumps in with different ideas and methods that they're using to accomplish things on their website. So definitely take a moment to join us there. You can go to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook and click on the blue join button. I'll see you there. And for those of you joining us for the first time, welcome to Webinar Wednesday. I believe this is Webinar Wednesday 69. We've had Webinar Wednesdays going for about 2.5 years now, and it's honestly my favorite time of the week. In Webinar Wednesday, we like to cover topics related to marketing your website and growing your online community. Obviously, launching a website is very easy today. There's lots of tools and easy ways to accomplish that, but really growing and cultivating an engaged community does require time and effort. So we like to cover things such as increasing website traffic, converting visitors to members, identifying revenue opportunities, and one of my favorite is improving the visitor's experience through a better navigation, making it nice and simple and clean to use regarding your website design. So if you have questions on these topics, please save them. We will get to them in just a moment, a little later in the webinar. All right, and we have a few BD Lab updates to share. I'll go through these relatively quick. Just last week, we had about 16 to 20 updates pushed, and here's a few fun ones that I thought would be noteworthy to share in the webinar today. The first one is a new design setting. You can actually set the members' profile photos to be a circle design, and I'll show you exactly how that works now. All right, so you want to go, let's go to this website first. This is just a sample site. We'll go to the search results page. It's just a site we're playing around on here. And we can see that it just has the normal soft rounded corners here. And so what we'll do is go to the design settings. And under additional design settings, which really this module is getting pretty full, I think we're going to divvy these up into smaller sections here. But the new one here is profile photo style. And what you can do now is set this to circle corners. I'll go ahead and do that, and I'm going to share a caveat regarding that as well. So let me just save the changes here. Great. And let's actually go to one of the profile pages. So we could see now that it's attempting to give, and let me find someone that actually has a photo here. Just a moment. So we can see here it's attempting to turn the profile photo into a circle. Now this photo was uploaded as a rectangle. So if members are uploading rectangular versions of their profile photos, you're going to end up with a result like this. But I want to show you guys something really cool that you can do moving forward on your site if you want a truly circle image for the profile photo. And what you can do is this. It's really cool. You can go to the Developers tab and go to Image Settings. And here, you don't really need to mess around with this too much. It's basically helping to optimize the image sizes, the maximum image sizes for your site. So if someone uploads an image that's like 6,000 pixels wide, it's going to shrink it down to the max width here. What you want to do is the first one here, profile photo. You can edit the group settings, and this basically supports either a rectangle or a 1x1, which would make a square image. And I'll just set the max width and max height to 200 and 200 just for fun here, and I'll save the changes. So now that the profile photo is set to be a square, when we transform it using that circle setting, it's going to really make a perfect circle on the site, and we can actually test it. Let me download this rectangular image here. Let me save this image and re-upload it. So let's log in as this member. And I'll upload a new profile photo. Great, so now it's asking me to make this into a square, and I'll just save the changes. Okay, great, so now let's go to the profile page. You can already see here, I think it adds a nice modern aesthetic. Obviously the regular way is fine, it's been worked for a long time and it works great, but this will just add another dimension to your site using the circle photo. So best way to use this is if you're using the square as the settings for the images, for the profile photo images, but either way it adds a nice effect here on your site. All right, next update. Now you have the ability, a lot of people say they want to moderate all the members that sign up to their site, and you can certainly do so based on the membership level. So I'll show you how you can automatically set any member sign up to an on hold status rather than an active member status. And the way to do that is, let's start at the dashboard here. Under your Finance tab, go to Manage Products, because this is a membership level setting. And let's say you want to moderate all the basic members that sign up to your site. It's a free account. You want to edit this. And the first option here, just a small note, we've moved the name of the membership level on the outside of these tabs, so when you're editing the tabs, you'll always know which membership level you're in the process of editing. So this first tab here is you now have 3 options. Before there was just 2. There's active account, inactive account, and on hold. So you could set this to on hold. And now anytime someone signs up to this membership level, this could be a paid membership level as well, free or paid, it doesn't matter. But anytime someone signs up to this level, their account status will be on hold, and only you, the admin of the site, can manually change their status in the search members area over here, change their status to an active status. Now what's important to note is you also want to probably share that information in the sign-up email that's sent to those users. So you might want to modify the welcome basic email or create a new custom welcome email that these members receive upon sign-up, and just let them know what to expect now that they've registered or signed up, or what the next steps are. Perhaps you want them to email you some more information, or make sure they complete their profile before you even consider enabling their account. So it actually puts you in the driver's seat when it comes to moderating and activating valid members on your site. So that on hold option is there for you now, and I know a lot of people are going to be using that. All right, the next one, hide homepage hero divider on mobile. This one's pretty self-explanatory. It's just a new design setting. And let's go to the home page here. So this is the hero divider. A lot of people use it on their site. Some people choose not to use it on your site. But it does take up a lot of real estate on a mobile view. So let me just toggle a mobile view here. And if you scroll down, we can see it's still very nice in my opinion, but it does in fact, it does take up a lot of real estate on mobile, and you may not want to show this on mobile devices. So let me just show you where you can hide this now, the setting to hide this on mobile. This one we're going to toggle back on over to the design settings. And for this one, we're going to go to homepage layout because it's a homepage element. And because there's so many settings, it has its own module here, the homepage divider settings. So we have all these fun settings, but you can add links. Now the last option here, hide on mobile, yes or no. We're going to set this to yes, hide on mobile devices. Go ahead and save the changes. Okay, great. And we'll just do a hard refresh here on the homepage. So now if we scroll down the home page, we'll see that it is gone. It goes directly into the calls to action. So you have your search and then any other elements that you want to have here on your home page. So that setting is now available to everyone as well. And lastly, probably one of the most valuable updates here, if you're using the Sell Digital Downloads add-on, which allows you to create essentially buy pages for tangible and intangible products and services, there is now an export buyer data button. So maybe you're creating one product, maybe for an event ticket or whatever it may be, you can export all that member data. Let me show you how you can do that. So the first thing we want to do is log into a member's account who has sold digital products, and normally the digital products are reserved for the owner of the website admin, because the payments that get collected are going to your payment gateway. So a quick way for me to get to the manage digital products is I'll go to manage posts, and let's look at the website digital products, and I'm just going to go ahead and log in as this member here. Great. So this is a member. See, this doesn't look bad, the rectangle with the circle, even though it's not a perfect square. So this is a member who has published digital products and has had some sales. So to get to your sales page, you want to go to the sales history button here, which only the digital products post type has. So we'll click on sales history. So in this case, there have been 5 sales, and there's different products: dinner with David for charity, 5 hours of SEO consulting. So let's say we want to export just the people who had 5 hours of SEO consulting, or again, this could be an event ticket, general admission. You want to export the list and then print them onto like a clipboard, so at the event you can check people off or make sure that they are indeed registered and whatnot. So you can use this product filter here, and we'll just 5 hours of SEO consulting, and what you can do is just export the results. It's just going to ask you if you want to export it. It's going to create the CSV file, and then there it is. You can save this to your computer. And what this looks like after you save it and export it, I have it open here. You have a few things. You have the invoice ID, which will correspond to the invoice ID in your website's transaction history, the purchase date, the amount that was collected and paid, the buyer's name, the buyer's email address, the buyer's member ID. This corresponds to their member ID on your BD website, because you do need to register in order to purchase a digital product through the website. The name of the product that was purchased, the product URL, the buy page where the transaction happened, and then if you're including a confirmation page or a confirmation email template that was associated after purchasing the product, that's also included here as well. So you really have everything you need as far as exporting a list of buyers, and then you can use that list to verify them or use it for whatever else you need in the future. So that should be super high value. And I know a lot of people are using the digital downloads add-on for event ticket sales. They're posting an event, and then in the description of the event, they're putting the links where they can purchase different event tickets for that. So they can view the description of the event, and then right on the same site, they go to the checkout page or the buy page for one of the event ticket options, and then they can export in this manner here. All right, so those are just a few of the BD Lab updates. Hope there was some value in there for you guys, and we're always pushing new updates. One of the top places we get ideas for updates are in the Facebook group, actually. People ask how-to questions. A setting may or may not exist for that request, and based on the popularity or the value that it might add, we do definitely take those into consideration. So we look forward to seeing you in the Facebook group. All right, we got a great segment here in Rick's Corner today. Rick is obviously at the front lines of responding to support tickets and providing phone training and website setups. And Rick comes across a lot of common questions that a lot of users ask. So today we're going to talk about how to submit your website and your website's sitemap to the Google Search Console. And Rick, can you tell us a little bit about what the Google Search Console is actually?
Yes. So hello. Yeah, you're right. The questions that we get asked frequently are regarding the initial stages of setting up your website, right? And this one comes in quite often, and it's how do I let Google know that my website is here? For those of you familiar with this, this was used to be called Google Webmaster Tools, and since it has changed its name to Google Search Console. The process in which you basically let Google know that you have an active website, that it consists of different web pages, and how you get that communication going is by setting this account up. So it is again a question that comes up frequently, Jason, and the process to set this up is super easy. And I guess that's what we're going to be doing right now.
Awesome. And I think, at least for beginners, or even for myself, the majority of the main reasons I use the Google Search Console is two things. Is one, basically officially submit my site to Google saying, hey, Google, my website exists, I'm raising my hand. And number two, with the sitemap submission, is you're basically handing Google a menu of all the web pages that exist on your site, and then Google can decide how they want to rank all those different pages, or if they want to include all the pages or some of the pages in the Google search results.
Exactly. So that's how you're going to let them know, like, this is what's currently building up my site. These are the, like you said, the web pages that are currently building up my site, so on and so forth. And we're going to cover how to do that right now with, I believe it was an update that you went over. If it wasn't last week, it was a couple of weeks ago at the most, but it's like how to use the sitemap tool and all this good stuff. So let's go ahead and jump to it. Jason, if that's okay with you.
Yep, let's do it. I'm going to share the controls with you, Rick, and you can get us started here with the Google Search Console.
Okay, perfect. So the first thing that you want to do, and this is very important, even though the tool will work if you're using a stationary or temporary domain, it's important for your website to be hosted using your own domain. So that will be step number one. This is why this is associated with the initial stages of your site, right? Because you need to do this first before even letting Google know about your domain. You want to let them know beforehand.
So everyone gets a directory up, domain name, and basically Correct. You don't want to do double work. So after you connect your live domain name, that's when you want to probably follow these steps.
Exactly. Okay. So we're going to be using this website just for this example, and we're going to be using this domain, right? So Google Search Console calls this a property, right? So what we're going to be doing, this is the Search Console direct link. It's going to take you to a welcome page. I have already created my account, so it already logs me in. If you guys don't have an account already, it's just a matter of setting it up. It's super easy. It's Google, so that's what they're good at doing, right? Making stuff easy sometimes. And yeah, once you use this link that again we're going to be sharing with everyone, you're going to be taken to this specific page. So this would be like the registration process, right? Since I already have an account, I won't need to take this additional step that I'm going to show you guys, which is just add another property. It's just this step that you see here, add another property. When you click on that, add another property, you're going to be taken to this page that we're currently on, right? Basically, that's how it's going to work. Now, the method that we're going to be using is the one that's on the right. So URL prefix, that's the one that we're going to use to verify or to add the property, right? Adding a property basically is just verifying that you're the owner and that you have the ability to add the information that they're going to share with you in order to demonstrate or to prove to Google, again, that you're the actual owner. So let me go ahead and add the URL here, or the domain. Oh, no, that's not the one that I want to use. I want to use my own. So it's this one right here. I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to paste it here in the field. Now let's click continue. So it's just checking for the verification. All right. So we have a few ways in which we can verify again that we are the owners of this site. The one that we're going to be using is the HTML tag. It's the easiest, and we have a whole field dedicated to this type of setup. So it's super straightforward. Let's go ahead and click on this one. And what we're going to do is just copy this simple line of code here. Right. So I highlight this and I copy it, and then I'm going to jump back to the Brilliant Directories website. All right, so here I'm on the dashboard, and what I'm looking for is the design settings. So I'm going to go to settings, design settings. All right, here to the right, just a second, it's still loading. All right, so here we have this option called custom CSS head. All right, so that's what we're looking for. We're actually looking for the head section of your website. Here's where we're going to add the script that verifies that I'm the owner. All right, so I'm adding this to the site. I'm going to save the changes. If I don't save the changes, there's no way to verify it yet. So just saving. Once it has been saved, all right, so that's already properly set up. We can go back to the console, to the Google Search Console, and we can click here where it says verify. All right, so it's checking verification, and there you go. Ownership has been verified.
Perfect.
Very straightforward.
Yeah, and essentially all you did was you're using the HTML tag verification option, and then you're just copying and pasting that little piece of code and then clicking the verify button.
Correct. Correct. That's how. So basically, that's how we have already told Google, this is our website. We're here, right?
Now, as from an SEO perspective, you've now just actually officially, by doing that one step, you just officially registered your site with Google and said, "Hey, Google, my site's online. Start putting me in the search results on a more official basis by doing this."
Correct, correct. So a few things that are important to note at this point, even though there might be some information about the website, there's still not really live information. So it takes a while for Google to pick up this, like the activity and like what's going on, but that just takes a few days at the most. Other than that, like you're seeing here on my screen, you're able to see like the information that they have already presented here. So this is very useful. Again, like Jason stated at the beginning, it gives you like a good idea of how your website is doing, right? And how it's gaining organic SEO as time goes by. Now, this is like half of the presentation at this point, Jason, because I also want to go over how to submit the sitemap. So if that's okay with you, let's go ahead and jump to that section.
Yeah, let's do it. We've done 1 of 2. Now let's finish 2 of 2.
All right, so here on the left, still in the Google Search Console, there's this option called sitemaps. All right, so what we're going to be able to do here is to just add the sitemap that we can easily generate through Brilliant Directories. All right, so let's go ahead and get the sitemap so that we can add it here. I'm going to jump back to the Brilliant Directories platform here. If I go to just a second, because I was searching for that. It's on the. If I go to the toolbox and I open up the sitemap generator here, what I'm going to be able to do now is that I can tell the platform how frequent I want the sitemap to be generated. Right? That means that I don't have to manually generate the sitemap. We can tell the system now, okay, go ahead and do it every 7 days, right? Which is basically what we recommend on doing. There's no really a point on overdoing this. 7 days is more than enough. And it's super easy. So you can go ahead and choose between 7 days and every 30 days. So if you're starting out, if you're gaining some traction still, you can leave it at 30 days. That's going to be fine. Or you can go ahead and jump to the 7 days if you know that you have already a lot of traffic and a lot of people registering on your site, creating new profiles. So that's when you want to switch to the 7 days. Once you select the option, very important to choose the save. So if I choose the 30 days, I need to click save. I'm going to leave it at 7. I'm just going to click save, even though it's already there. Now what I'm going to do is generate the sitemap. So I can generate the sitemap. It's creating the sitemap. It takes a few minutes. It won't take long because the website itself doesn't have too much content.
And what's really cool about the like every 7 days your sitemap is automatically updated is with Brilliant Directories, all your search result pages, all the member profile pages, they're all dynamically created. But sometimes it's hard for Google to find all those new pages because they could be buried deep in the site. Like only if you conduct a specific type of search, you're going to find a certain type of search results page. So with the sitemap generator, when it refreshes every 7 days, it's basically going to be telling Google, hey, we just added 500 new pages to our site. Please consider these, and they'll figure out which ones that warrant being added to Google search results and not. So it's you just need to do this one time, and what Rick is going to show you now is how to submit this sitemap to Google, and it's really a set it and forget it situation here.
Exactly. All right. So yes, again, by creating the sitemap, you're telling Google this is what the website is built out of, and go ahead and check out an index or start indexing these other web pages as well. All right. So now let's go ahead and, since the sitemap has already been generated, we can copy that to the clipboard. It's just this URL pretty much. It's basically what has been copied to my clipboard, and we're going to jump back to the console web page. As you can see here, the beginning of the URL is already graded out. I don't have to include that. Let me copy that one more time. Sorry. Here. Okay, let me copy that to the clipboard, and now let's add it here. So I can go ahead and get rid of all this initial information, because that's basically all I need. And then I click here where it says submit, blue button. All right, so it's submitting, and there you go. The sitemap submitted was successful. Okay, got it. So once again, there's this like Jason just put it, set it and forget it, because the sitemap is going to be automatically generated depending on the days that you set up there on the very useful tool that we have here. And that's basically it, Jason.
Awesome, Rick. Just a note, if you want to go back to the Google Search Console, you know, your site might have thousands of pages that are part of the sitemap. Google might not choose to index or show all the pages in their search results. Some pages might be what Google considers thin content or very similar content on your site, and they might just choose to show one of the more prevalent pages of your site and exclude other pages of your site. That's not necessarily a negative thing. Google's just trying to give their searchers and their users the best experience, so they just want to make sure that they're giving the most meaningful content to the visitors, and not all the pages on your site may include meaningful content. Some of it could be slightly repetitive, or what Google considers thin or light pages, which just have such maybe one sentence of information on it, and that's not really enough to get ranked that page in Google. So just keep those things in consideration there.
All right. So Jason, like the last thing that you just mentioned, I guess that it really depends on how you want to take that type of news, because if you want to see it as a problem, I mean, there's not much that you can do. But if you see it as an opportunity, right, where it actually tells you like these pages need a little bit of love, they need to be worked on, you can get even rid of them because they're not adding anything to your site. Like, it does call you to work on your website, and I guess that keeping that up to date is always going to be beneficial for you in the long run.
I'll be honest with you, on the actual Brilliant Directories company website, about 6 to 8 months ago, we actually deleted about 60% of our pages. We had FAQs on our BD site, and it was, and you know, I don't recommend doing this for everyone, but we removed a bunch of what Google considers our thin pages, and that actually helped the rankings of our more important pages in the search engine. So yeah, definitely finding ways to eliminate thin pages, or not worry that Google's not ranking your thin pages. You know, that kind of alleviates some worry that you might have of how your site's ranking in Google. George here has a question. He's got his hand up. All right, George, let's see, typed in a question here. How does Google handle claim your listing profiles? That's a great question. So with claim listing profiles, you're probably uploading some business data. Google will attempt to index it. However, if the claim listing profiles that you uploaded are simply a company name, their address, and their phone number, there's nothing really meaningful or new that Google cares about that profile, and they may simply choose to not include those claim listings in their search results. The days of uploading 1 million business records and they start ranking in Google, those days are gone, unless you actually have an SEO strategy behind it on how to add more unique and more meaningful content to each and every one of those profile pages. If you are uploading, George, if you are uploading thousands and thousands of business listings, for that membership level, Rick, I'm going to take the controls here. You may want to simply set them to, just a moment here, you might want to just set those membership levels to no index, no follow. So I'll just go ahead and edit a membership level here real quick, George. And under search visibility, you might just want to hide those listings from search engines. Because chances are, unless you're uploading them with truly unique content and they're very content-rich profiles that you're using the claim listing for, then of course give Google the opportunity to index them. But if it's just standard business data that's duplicate content that can be found on tons of other websites, you may want to just choose to omit them from search engines finding them, George. So good question there. All right, great. Thanks, Rick. So we have a great segment here for the tip of the week, and this actually got started in the Facebook group. A few discussions were started on people wanting to add additional social share buttons to their sites beyond the standard ones that come with BD, and there are a few good options out there. So for the tip of the week, we want to cover ways to engage visitors with enhanced social share buttons. And we've all been on websites where we see social share buttons for Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Sometimes there's so many of them it makes our heads turn. But the good news is with some of the enhanced social share button tools out there, you can pick and choose the solutions that work for the target market that your website is in. So let's talk about social share buttons for a little bit. Those are the things like when you're reading a blog post and it says share this page or tweet this page or email this page to a friend. Those are the social share buttons, and there are some benefits of including them on your site. First of all, it improves the customer experience because it gives your website an opportunity to engage with them. It gives them another call to action, something to click on, something to do. They can see if a blog post or another piece of content has been shared, because normally they have counters on them, so you can see if a blog post has been shared 10 or 20 or 30 times. And when they do share your content, they're basically increasing your brand exposure because they're sharing your website with their friends and their followers on those social media platforms. So the social share buttons are obviously a great way to increase your brand's visibility online. And chances are the person who's sharing your content has like-minded friends and followers, and therefore you're improving your reach potentially to your target market. So if they're sharing it, it's obviously something that they think their friends or followers might also be interested in. So you have a chance to maybe pick up some new potential subscribers or members of your website. And not only that, in recent years, Google has been modifying their algorithms, and social indicators such as Facebook likes and shares definitely influence your website's SEO. And there are SEO benefits to having your content shared. Not only does it drive more traffic to your site, but having good, rich content reduces bounce rates. So if people are coming to your site and in droves and staying on your site and reading your articles, Google calculates all those little details and factors them into how they want to rank your site in their search engine. So there's definitely an SEO benefit when your content is being shared. And then lastly, it increases your site's trust and credibility. People can see other engagement on your site from previous website visitors. And honestly, it just decorates your site a little bit better because people are used to seeing those on your site, on websites, and it just adds another level of professionalism on your site, especially if you're using enhanced social share buttons. It looks like your site's a little bit more developed. So here's a snapshot of BD's default social share widget. Honestly, it does the job. If your site is just starting out, it's a great starting point. It includes Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, which are three of the top social media networks out there. There's no setup required. It's already included in the sidebar of your site. As I mentioned, it includes the basic share buttons. And if something's not working with these share buttons, BD will provide direct support for you guys. So it's great to start with these. It's great to use these. And yeah, again, it's just a great starting point for 99% of the websites out there. So there are a lot of tools that help enhance social share button design and functionality on your site. There's two key companies out there. There's other ones, but these two offer free solutions, and they have killer settings and ways to customize the social share buttons on your site, and we're going to cover that in just a second and actually show you how you can add this to your BD website as well. So the first one, it's Share This. You can go to sharethis.com. It's free to register an account, and I'm going to show you how you can connect it to your site. The other one is Add This. It's addthis.com. You can go to their site, register, and it's really easy to hook it up to your Brilliant Directories website. So for this presentation, let's focus on the Share This option. The Add This is very similar, but we'll focus on setting up the Share This account, connecting it to our site, and actually getting the new social share buttons to render on a sample site. We'll use that the New York City dog walker website that Rick was on. So, why go through the trouble of using a dedicated tool? Why doesn't Brilliant Directories just build a tool that does what Share This does or Add This does? Those are companies that have been around for 10 plus years. They've really refined and fine-tuned how the social share buttons work with all the settings. There really is no reason to reinvent the wheel, and they're constantly making improvements and updates. So I do recommend when you're ready to take your site to the next level and you have ample blog posts and you want to make sure they're being shared nicely, then you want to probably opt for one of these enhanced tools. So they all include powerful and robust settings. We'll cover those in a second. Super easy to customize for your specific market's needs. And think about it, these share tools, we've all been on sites where ads slow down the loading of the page, or the share buttons even slow down the actual loading of the page. These dedicated solutions are designed to not slow down the load times of your page. And they do allow you to include one share button or dozens of share buttons. And it's fully optimized, rather than if you were to go to the websites and add the different share buttons yourself, it'll probably slow down the loading time of your site. Another awesome thing is these tools provide reporting, analytics, and insights for the different types of content that has been shared using their share buttons. And lastly, these guys do a killer job. It just makes your site look more professional because of the different style options that you can apply to these buttons. And when we log into the Share This panel, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so these are the basic steps you'll follow, even if you're using the Add This or another tool, to basically get these share buttons added to your site. So you're going to sign up and register for free. Similar to how Rick added a website property in the Google Search Console, you're going to add your website property to Share This. Then we're going to verify our website. Then the fun part starts. We can configure the share buttons, and then lastly, we're going to embed the share buttons onto our Brilliant Directories website, and they really make it easy with just a simple copy and paste with a line of code. So let's go to sharethis.com and let's actually get started with connecting this to a site. And I know Terry was in the Facebook group. After we go through this, we can use your site as an example and make sure we have everything configured if you're here in the webinar with us. So give me a second here and let me get a site set up for us. Okay, great. So we're going to work on this sample site, Dog Groomer NYC, and we're on the Share This website. So when you come here, what you want to do is go ahead and you can click Get Share Buttons, and it's going to ask you to kind of go through the sign up process and choose and start designing your sites. I already have an account, so I'll go ahead and just log in with the sample account that I have. All right, great. So I'm logged in here, and what the first thing that I want to do is set up an account. I'm logged in. Now I want to add a property. So in the top here, I can set up new property, and it wants me to add the domain name for the property. So I'll just go ahead and copy this one, Dog Groomer NYC, and hit OK. All right, so it says we're unable to verify Dog Groomer NYC. Put this code into your site. So I'm going to click Get the Code. Okay, and I'll just copy this here. So that's what I need to do, copy the code. Great. Now what I want to do is go to settings and design settings. I'm just going to paste this code in the custom head section here. So I'm going to go to custom CSS/head tab, and I'll just paste the code down here and save my changes. So that's basically everything I need to do to sync up my site with ShareThis. And I'll go back here and I'll click on verify. All systems go, we verified the account. So now the fun part starts. So they do offer a few solutions like reaction buttons, follow buttons, like if you want them to follow your Facebook page. In this case, we want share buttons where people can share specific web pages on our site. So I'm going to toggle the share button open. And I actually want to start with the sticky share buttons for the first example that I want to show you guys. So this is the one where it sticks on the side of the page. So even when you scroll, it sticks. So here's what's cool about these tools like ShareThis and AddThis. You can choose what platforms you want to include as your social media share buttons. And it even includes things like emailing that page to somebody. So if you click that, your email application will open up and you can go ahead and just email that page. If you're on mobile, you can send SMS, you can share it via SMS with this button. And then this last one, this green one here, it'll basically, if you click it, it'll toggle all these other options for you like this, if you want to include that. Now what's cool is you can just click these and they start going away. So you can have as little or as many share buttons as you like. In this case, let's just stick with the few basic ones here. And we'll also include LinkedIn. And here's the fun part where you can start designing how you want this to look. You can choose the alignment, left or right, how far from the top it's fixed. I think it's pretty good where it's at. And then you can show the calls to action. I guess in this case, because it's on the sidebar, there really aren't any. Oh, I see here. If you toggle it open, it says how many times it's been shared. Or you can do call to action where it tells you like what you're doing, sharing, tweeting, pinning, etc. And then the total count, this number here, this is just a sample, 4.7 million shares. You can actually turn that off. So you have a nice streamline option here. Another fun thing with this, you can choose the corners if you want them rounded or if you want a perfect square. And then what's really nice, depending on the design of your site, you can invert the colors so it has a white background as opposed to their solid color and with the white icons. Furthermore, you can choose the language. You can choose to hide on mobile. I think that's a good idea usually because you don't want to clutter people's mobile screens. And I'll just click on update. Okay, great. And I of course have to enable sticky share buttons. Okay, awesome. So now the last thing we need to do is just copy the code. And let me just see here what this is. I know I can get it if I go to inline. This is what we need. This is the code. I don't know why they make me go to inline share buttons, but basically what I want to do is, so I'm just going to copy this and click the copy button. And in our design settings, the same place, if I want those share buttons to show on every page of my site, just paste that in the additional footer code, this div here that I copied, and save the changes. And I'm done. So I configured my share buttons, in this case the sticky ones, and I copied the code that I need, and I pasted it, the head code that they asked me to verify is up here, and then the additional footer code, I put this other code here. Now let's save the page. Oh, you know what? I didn't need to put it there. Here is the share buttons now. Perfect. So now if I want, I can share this page. There we go. And it's there. So this will be on every page of my site because I put it in the design settings, which essentially renders on every single page of my site. Now, let's take this a bit further. Let me go back to the presentation. So we've done all this 1 through 5 here, and we could stop there. But what I wanted to do is give you guys 5 embed code placement options because probably you don't want that on every single page of your site. You may want it, but I think it makes more sense on specific blog posts or on coupon pages or on member profiles and whatnot. Don't think it needs to be on every single page of your site. So the first one, it was in the design settings in the additional footer code. So that'll put the code everyone on your site. The second one is in the detail page design and putting it in the comments code. So let me remove this from here and save the changes. And let's go to a blog page. So here's a blog page. Now let's say we wanted it on every blog page. Now I just removed it, so let's just refresh. Let's go here. So if we want it on the blog page, let's see if this, I think it knows my website. That's why. Yeah, I guess you don't need code for the sticky sidebar, Rick. It just knows to do that. So you actually don't even need to do the footer code thing that I mentioned. You just need to enable the sticky share buttons. That's why there's no code here.
Easier.
Much easier. Yeah, it just shows it everywhere on your site. So let's actually turn the sticky ones off. And let's talk about the inline share because this is the one that needs the embed code here. So let's turn on inline and let's adjust the settings. So let's talk about inline design for a second. So you can go left, center, right, or I like justified because it'll fit the full width of whatever area that you're placing it in. You can also choose the button size, small, medium, or large, again, depending on your style. And then you can show the count or none. I like the call to action. I don't like to show the count total. And then here's really cool. You can have circle corners or square corners. Let's put rounded corners here. And then you can add spacing or not. Let's update this. Fantastic. So let's say we wanted to put this in the sidebar here. Let's turn off the sticky one. Okay, great. So this is the one that comes with the site, right, Rick? So let's say we want to get rid of this one and we want to put our own share this button. So this one actually does require you to create your own custom widget. So we're going to go to the widget manager and click on new widget. I'm just going to pop that code in that they gave me, the one line of code. I'm going to call it share this code. Okay, save the changes there. So now we have this widget, and now we can just pop this widget in the sidebar. So that's the post single page sidebar. I'm going to go ahead and remove the social share module that we have there by default. That's Brilliant Directories default one. I'm going to look for share this, which I just created, and I'm going to place that at the top there and save the changes. And I'll go ahead and refresh the page. So now we have the social share icons here. Now let's actually do something in that widget. Let's style it a little better because we can see here that it's touching the other element below it. There really isn't a title for this, so we can add those things ourselves. Let's edit this custom widget, and I don't want to get too complicated with code, but this is the code that the share this gave us. Under it, I'm just going to put something that's called HR, so open bracket HR, and at the top I'm going to put an H3, and it's going to say share this page. So that's it. So, and I'll just go ahead and save this widget, and now that's added a title here, and it should add a little space between the buttons and the element below it. Let's refresh one more time. Here we go. So it says share this page, and it adds a little space with that HR below it. So it really adds a lot better styling. Again, these buttons are made to look super professional and nice. And that's how you can add it to your different pages in the sidebar. Now, if you wanted to take it a bit further, you could add that into your page layout. So can I take it to another level here, Rick? Let's say you wanted
to. Please do.
All right. So here's a site we can use as an example here. So here's a BD site. It's more like a magazine blog that they're using it for. And they've added the share this button underneath the main image here. So if you scroll down, you got these nice buttons here. They've chosen these 4 social share buttons, and it just really adds, again, it makes the site look a little bit more developed. So let's say we wanted to add it at the top, because that's probably the easiest thing to do. So what we want to do is go to our post type for blog. So let's go to the dashboard. And again, there'll be a replay for this, guys. So don't worry if you're not catching all of it. I'm just trying to save time here. You want to go to Edit Post Settings and go to your blog, website blog, and we're going to go to Detail Page Design. Now, what you can do is you want to put it in line with the code. So this looks pretty confusing. Just move everything down, pop it in here with the HR, and you're done. So you have the share this code with an HR, and you can save the changes. And we're probably going to see share button overload here because it's also in the sidebar, but let's refresh the page. Great. So you can have the share buttons here at the top or in the sidebar. What probably would make sense is maybe you want to move the share code further down in the sidebar. This is the sidebar manager. So if we refresh it, they won't be, if you wanted to render twice on your site, you can certainly do that. So you can have it like this. And again, it just really adds a nice element here. And if we click on this one, you get all the social options here because we've chosen to have that one. And let's take it one more thing. Let's actually re-enable the sticky ones. And we should now see overkill of social share buttons here. We should see it on the side of the page, at the top here, and in the sidebar. Yeah, let me just, it says it takes, please allow 5 minutes for the changes to take effect. It actually does it a little quicker than that, so let's just, well, I don't want to wait 5 minutes. But this is a good example of where you can put it inline if you want to get into the code. If you simply want to add it to the sidebar, which is creating that custom widget, popping in their code, and then putting that widget in the sidebar. And then the last one would be advanced, is place it in existing widgets. So customizing existing widgets and then embedding it in the code there. That would be the most advanced method, but you really can place the social share buttons basically anywhere you want on your site and really create that enhanced experience. So what we wanted to do now is pass it over to you guys for Q&A. If you want to talk about adding the social share links to your site, or if you have any questions in general about improving your Brilliant Directories website, you can go ahead and use the raise your hand feature. We'll be happy to unmute your microphone and take some questions here.
So Jason, I'm sorry to interrupt there. I know that Lindsay had a great question. She asked, how can you remove the default share this page from that comes with the default module from BD?
Fantastic question, Lindsay. So I just did an example of that here, and you basically want to follow this model. Go to your sidebar manager, find the sidebar where you're seeing that. Generally, you'll see it in the post single page or the member profile page sidebar. Go ahead and edit that, Lindsay. And then you'll see it here. It'll be called like the social share widget, and you could just click the X button and it will remove it from the sidebar. I'll go ahead and remove our share this one, and then just click Save Changes. And you'll see here if I refresh, this is the share this one that I added, but that will be gone from the sidebar. So just follow the same steps for the default one that comes with your BD website. All right, Rick, I also see, I think VJ had his hand up here. Hey, VJ, how are you today?
Hey, Jason, how are you?
Good, good, thanks. How'd you like the webinar today?
Yeah, really good, really good.
Awesome.
I just added the share buttons to my site while we're on the training call.
Do you mind if we take a look at them?
Yeah, sure.
What's the site?
It's nzbride.co.nz.
All right, I got it right here. And what page did you put that on, your entire site?
No, I just put it on the blogs, so under wedding ideas.
Wedding ideas, okay, I like how you did that. And which, let's see here, let's click here.
I put it at the bottom.
Okay, great, great. Oh, this is it's loading videos here, huh? Okay.
It's a long one.
Oh, these are songs for weddings. Okay.
Okay. There we go.
I love what you did. So in the blog post, you're asking these questions at the end, and then you're asking them to share here. Very nice.
That's for the comment thing. I haven't put it in yet, so I've got to put a comment plugin in.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, it looks professional. You may want to considering putting it at the top and the bottom. Again, it's not going to necessarily slow down the load of your site, but it might add to the aesthetic at the top. All right, good stuff there. I don't see too many hands up today. I think it was a good presentation. It looks like Colette has her hand up. Hey, Colette, how are you doing today?
Very well, and you?
Good. How'd you like the presentation today?
Awesome. I always learn new things, and I was trying that share this code yesterday and failed, so now I have succeeded. So thank you for that.
Awesome. Do you mind if we take a look at it on your site, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, sure.
And did you add it site-wide or just on specific pages?
I've added it on most pages. I'm still going through all my sidebars, but it's on sidebars for post search results and post single pages at this stage.
Okay. Great. So here it is. So share this will automatically, let's see. Okay, so you've added it here. So you're noticing it's giving a little dominance to Facebook here. It's just trying to fill in all the spaces. It can't make all of them wide here. But maybe if you added one more, then they would all be even. But I think this looks fantastic.
Great.
And do you have a question for us today?
Yes. Regarding the sizes of logos, I like mine all to be square because it just looks better. It shares better on Facebook.
Yes, I agree.
And I'm battling to get people to upload one that looks reasonable. So how can we force them to upload a square logo?
So as we mentioned, these are minimums and maximums. The profile photo will force it to be a square. That's the one where it will force it to be a square.
I don't use that. I use the logo only.
You use the logo only. In that case, I would recommend making everyone use a profile photo, to be honest. I would recommend using profile photo and omit the logo. That way you can ensure that's a square, because the logo doesn't have the ratio restriction. Only the profile photo does. Now, with that said, okay, so what you want to do is go to your MySQL here. And so as to not disrupt the existing work that's been done on your site for your members, is under your directory, let me just go here. It's called users photo, and these are all either the profile photo or the logo that's been added to the user's account. So basically what we just need to do is we just need to do a bulk update to change all the types that are logo to photo. And then in the membership level settings, Colette, just turn off everyone's logo and switch them to profile photo and set it to a 1-to-1 ratio. Therefore, moving forward, people will just be adding profile photos that are square. The existing photos will still be in whatever proportions they've been uploaded, but if people go to update, they'll be forced to update in a square format.
Okay, all right, that sounds great. Thanks for that.
So just a little bit of work to backtrack, but I would recommend moving forward switching everyone to a profile photo if you wanted to respect the 1-to-1 ratio for squares.
All right, I appreciate that. Thanks, Jason.
All right, thank you, Colette. So a little bit of extra work there for Colette. We could do it in the Facebook group if you want to start a discussion, give you a little helping hand there, but that's basically the steps you take to switch everyone from using the logo to the profile photo. All right, guys, thanks for joining us for another edition of Webinar Wednesday. Let's just recap a bit. So you can go to sharethis.com or addthis.com. It's really easy to sign up and create some enhanced share buttons for your website. Rick, special shout out and thank you to you. I know in the replays that adding your sitemap to the Google Search Console is going to come in really handy, especially if we're just setting up their site. And then, yeah, more BD Lab updates underway. If you haven't joined us already, you can go to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook and join us in our Facebook group. So on behalf of myself, Rick, and the entire Brilliant Directories family, thanks so much for joining, guys, and we'll catch you in 2 weeks for the next Webinar Wednesday. Have a great day and a productive week. Bye, guys.